The study of suffering and its abolition has been called several different names. Robert Daoust called it algonomy on his website. David Pearce used the terms bioethical abolitionism in his excitingly named Hedonistic Imperative Manifesto. I quite like abolitionology. Whatever you want to call it, it is urgently needed and all-encompassing. Every living, sentient and sapient being, human and non-human, suffers involuntarily. All-encompassing, like the study itself, for every discipline is required to achieve this goal. It is the ultimate example of a most interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, intersecting endeavour. We need you. We need you all. Revive the lost art of polymathism, my friends, for you will need to synthesize many seemingly disparate sciences. And when this great work is accomplished, then what? After involuntary suffering has been abolished, we won't just sit here. We will fly, swim, delve, and achieve. Pleasure will fill the vacuum after pain, torture, depression, fear, and malaise have been banished into historical exile. For the abolition of suffering has a sister science, you see, a sister art, and that is the study of pleasure maximization. Hedonism, hedonics, hedonology, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm not just talking about the shallow, one-dimensional debauchery that the word hedonism conjures up in people's heads. Nor am I referring to the hypnosis of sitting in front of the television eating a packet of Cheetos. No. I'm talking super happiness, super empathy, super motivation, a radically enhanced ability to feel and appreciate pleasure. David Pearce once said, "Pleasure science should be the queen of all the sciences," and I have never agreed with any statement more than that one. Hedonology should be the queen of all the arts and sciences. Hedonology, like its sister discipline abolitionology, is an all-encompassing thing of beauty located at the intersection of all human activity. Interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. May we inspire generations and generations of polymathic paradise engineers. Remember the very first time you consumed pure MDMA? Now imagine that feeling enhanced by many orders of magnitude, but with critical thinking, again enhanced by many orders of magnitude, remaining intact as we calculate strategies to abolish involuntary suffering throughout the entire animal kingdom as well and beyond via paradise engineering that will involve compassionate genetic manipulation after we have catalyzed a cultural paradigm shift away from Satanism, cronyism, corruption and greed. Taboo? Absolutely. But let's not allow cultural prejudices and status quo bias to distract and stop us from the noblest cause in all of Earth's history, the abolition of involuntary suffering everywhere. Pleasure is a space, a new frontier to be explored. And with these rich, exotic new pleasures will come the hypermotivation to explore our oceans, outer space, as well as the psychedelic mind without the threat of a bad trip, which would be an impossibility in the future age of extreme well-being. I sincerely hope you and I will live long enough to witness the abolition of suffering and the birth of a new age of bliss for all creatures. The technology actually is not that far off. The real challenge will be convincing others. The real challenge will be a cultural one. That and overthrowing the invisible oligarchs that control society. But it was technology, namely the internet, that exposed these oligarchs. And so after they are overthrown, it'll be technology that will finally rescue us all from the Darwinian samsara that has spun round and round since time began. The lion will sit down with the lamb. All creatures, great and small, human and not so human, will find themselves out of the abyss and into the light at last. And as the lions sit with the lambs, maybe we will sit with our ancestors in the light of hedonic bliss.